How you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing and football selections for Saturday, the 4th of January. Well, I wasn't going to do a video. I've got a few things I need to tend to. However, I've put them on hold and I've chose 6 selections. And I'll tell you what, now this classified racing is back on the all-weather, I do actually quite like the look of it, where you can look where it looks like jockeys, not jockeys, trainers have sometimes tried to get them in these races by running certain tactics that aren't quite in the horse's favour. So I do like some of these. They're not all in those classified races. There's a couple in there, and I think they've got interesting angles. Doesn't mean we've got the edge, and I'm going to pick 2 20 to 1 winners. But I think I picked 6 selections, all where they've got interesting angles. The football bet will be in the description and the comment section once this video has done. Just give me a couple of minutes after because I haven't actually written them out yet. So the bet isn't placed yet, but when I place the bet very shortly, it'll be an each way lucky 63 that comes to, I think it's my £8.82. I think it's a 7p each way lucky 63. So here are the selections. So the first selection is Van Zant at 20 to 1. I've left the price in the 3.22 at Southall, paying 4 places instead of 3. So basically, this selection is trained by Ruth Carr and ridden by Joanna Mason. I think this horse, if it's held up towards the rear, I think it's got every chance. It just needs a fast pace. Don't get me wrong, 20 to 1 purely shows that it's not been doing a great deal recently, but I do believe it's very well handicapped when they decide they want it to run well again or it gets a few breaks. So I do think she's actually got a relatively decent record. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's a fantastic strike rate, but I do believe she's ridden quite a few winners for Ruth Carr, has Joanna Mason. So I do think it's got a chance, and I think it's a very poor race. The next selection is Platinum Jubilee in the 4 race at Southall, paying 4 places instead of 3. Just give me 1 second. I'm still here. So, Platinum Jubilee. It's now off a mark of 50. If you go back to its form last probably summer on the all-weather, it's got some very decent form, running well-ish or not beaten too far off of marks in the mid-60s. Well, this horse is right down to a mark of 50 now. I believe it's an all-weather horse. As you can see, it's been campaigned mainly on the all-weather. It's been having a bit of a quiet spell recently. I just think it's got a chance, and I think it's a very poor race. It was also had some half decent form for Andrew Baldwin. Will this 7 furlong be up its street? I don't know. Maybe it's a tad short for it, but I think it's that poor race. I think the mark of 50 entitles it to run a decent race. The third selection is a horse that I've backed for feels like centuries now. It's Gaassee at 13 to 2, but I've left the price in the 5 at Southall. This was paying 4 places instead of 3. Well, I wasn't going to show this, but I'm going to just nip and show you the strike rate of this trainer. I don't know where the trainers come from, I'll be honest. I've never heard of him, so if you want to put in the comments if you have heard of him, I'm guessing he must be possibly an ex-William Haggis. So this is the horse. You don't need to know too much about this because it's coming off a bit of a break. It hasn't run since summer. I think they've probably sent it here to give it a bit of a break. It looks like it's recently been purchased by Mr. Charlie Rosier or Mr. and Mrs. Charlie Rosier. Don't know anything about them. At the beginning of its career, when it was showing its best form, it had got some fantastic form on the all-weather. As you can see, it did a racing post rating of 71 on its debut, which is okay. Short price, I expected to run well. Then it absolutely hiked up at 8 to 15 by 15 lengths at Chester. Not reading too much into that. But then it also had 2 excellent runs, one at Newcastle and one at Kempton, 8 to 7, then posting a huge rating, 85, to a racing post rating of 103. That tells me that it absolutely hiked up that day. It's now off a mark only two points higher. It's off at 87 now. Well, I want to show you this. This is the main thing I brought it to this. I think you can see this. Just give me a second. I'm just clicking it. So I'm going to share this tab instead. This is the recent strike rate of Jack Morland. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 runners. His last 4 have run. The one that didn't run very well, probably it ran too keen and then ran on again. And then Mama, it was prominent on the outer, so maybe too much use of it was done. So you could even expect them to get places if they hadn't been keen or ran on the outer. So let me just flick back to the main screen. So I think Gaassee, with a trainer in fantastic form, he's not had the horse that long, I don't think. I think when it says 30th December, I'm guessing that is when he actually received the horse. I don't know. But 13-2 offer. Don't get me wrong, the horse has got quirks. I've backed it a number of times, and it always comes there cantering, or a lot of the time it does. So I think it's interesting. It's not a confident pick. I'm more going for a horse that I like, very well handicapped from a trainer that's on fire. The next selection is Kiara Storm. This is 10-1 now. I'm taking the price purely because I get best odds guaranteed. I went for it because it was currently 18-1 with another firm. So this horse, so the Kiara Storm at 10-1, if you don't get best odds, just leave it to SP in the 420 at Wolverhampton. This horse, in my opinion, is absolutely ridiculously well handicapped. It's trained by Scott Dixon, and it's basically, when they want it to win, it can win. It's that well handicapped. It's just, is it today? It's now dropped into classified company. So it's up against very poor horses. It's also got Taryn Langley taking another £7 off it. So ultimately, I don't know if you remember, I tipped a horse that was 150-1 the other day. It was last turning for home, and it absolutely flew. Then finished an unlucky. I think it came 5th, paying out first 4. But I tell you what, if it hadn't run into a pocket, it would have won that day. But I can't claim it because it was a loss. But I think Kiara Storm is similar to that horse. It's not the same price, but it's ridiculously well handicapped. Where if the jockey is capable, and I'm not going to point the blame at the jockey if it doesn't win, but Kiara Storm is ridiculously well handicapped up against equally poor horses with a claim taking £7 off. I think it's got every chance. And finally, sorry, that isn't finally, Pop Noodle. I've left the price. It's currently 11-4, which I think stinks, but I think it's got a crazy chance. I'm using quite a few superlatives today. I don't know why, but it's in the 450 at Wolverhampton, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse is another one that is really well handicapped. Clearly, it's fancied to go well because they're not giving anything away with the price. It absolutely stinks, and I think it's probably the most obvious chance of a winner. There is a horse in this race. 'Cause I like to look around. There's a horse in this race that's also tipped up by Dave the Suit. I believe it's currently the second. It's the horse called Something Guest. I understand completely why he's gone for it. It's a similar profile to this horse as well. Well handicapped. I do believe they're both coming off recent wind operations, but not first time. And I think Pop Noodle, I am a fan of the Lochnanes on the all-weather, and I think this Pop Noodle will have what it takes to win this race, in my opinion. I am a fan of Edward Gretrix as well. And finally, another interesting horse in a classified race, Due Date in the 5:35 at Southwell, paying 4 places instead of 3. I think it's ridden by Luke Morris. The handicap mark of this horse has plummeted. It was in the 60s, I believe, last year. It's plummeted because it's been out of form. But if this one has a going day, it's now in a classified race where it's up against equally poor horses rated in the high 40s. This horse has got every chance. It is an all-weather performer, and I think 18-1 paying first 4 is far too big. So as I said, the very best of luck. The football selections will be in the description and the comment section. So I wish everybody the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.